Welcome to Cooking with Trey. I'm just kidding. Nobody wants to watch that, and they definitely don't want to eat the recipes that I've come up with. But we are going to do something a little bit different today. It's Valentine's Day week when we're recording this. I'm literally trying to earn brownie points from my wife. Now, my wife loves brownies. Like, if there's one guilty pleasure that she always keeps in the house, it's a box of brownies. And she happened to tell me that one of her friends, who's a really good baker, actually adds coffee to her brownie mix in order to make them taste better. Now, you know that if somebody says you can add coffee to it and make it better, I'm gonna try it. There's no hope. I have to do it. I'm the most gullible person in the world. If you say add coffee to it and it makes better, I'm gonna do it. I gotta try it. In front of me are two seemingly identical looking Tupperware containers full of brownies. Now, as you can tell by my B-roll footage, I am nowhere near what anyone would consider a baker, and I definitely would not consider myself good at serving or presentation of these brownies, but they'll do the trick. So one of these is normal brownies. It's followed the brownie mix recipe from the box, no changes, perfect following the instructions. The other one has some additives to it, and not the typical additives that you may think when you think of brownies. To this batch, we added 2 tablespoons of brewed coffee. We let the coffee cool off before we added it to the mix. You do not want to add hot coffee to the brownie mix. And we also added a teaspoon of vanilla extract and a teaspoon of instant coffee. Both batches were cooked in the same oven at the same temperature for the same amount of time. So they should be identical, other than the fact that this one has coffee in it and this one does not. But now we get to the fun part. Can we actually tell a difference? And if we can tell a difference, is the coffee one better? So let's give it a go. All right, first up, we have the non-coffee brownies. Okay, so I've got a piece here. I'm a corner guy. I like the corners. So I'm gonna use this one here. Give us a little bit of the inside and also of the edge. So let's give it a try. I mean, that's a solid brownie. Very tasty. I tend to like my brownies less fudgy and more like chewy. Like, this is a milk chocolate brownie instead of like the double fudge brownie. I tend to like these better. And I do like the chewy middle with the crisp outside. This is very, very nice. And that's something that we also want to confirm, is that we don't want there to be changes to like the density or the chewiness or the general structure of the brownie. We want them to stay what you would expect, but see if it tastes better with coffee. Onto the coffee ones. All right, got a corner piece here. I don't really smell coffee. It's not a ton of coffee in here. It's a teaspoon of instant coffee and 2 tablespoons of brewed coffee. It's not a ton of coffee, but I do know that when we were making the batter, it smelled very strong of coffee. I do not smell coffee as much from the baked brownie. Oh. Oh. Very interesting. Okay. The texture did change a little bit. The coffee brownie isn't nearly as chewy as the non-coffee brownie. I don't know if you can tell. They look slightly, this one looks a little fluffier than this one. I don't know if that comes across on the camera. So it's not overly coffee flavored, but there's a hint of it, and it's a very nice hint of it. Of course, I'm a fan of coffee, and so I like things that taste like coffee. And this chocolate brownie and coffee, it just makes a good combination. I haven't really tried the edge yet, so let's try that. Yeah, it's about the same. It really is just the middle that's a little fluffier and not as chewy. And that could be just like the cook time was affected. I cooked them the same amount of time, but maybe because I used coffee instead of water, so the recipe called for 2 tablespoons of water, we replaced that with 2 tablespoons of coffee. Maybe it just had a little bit of an impact to the overall cook time. It cooked it a little more or a little less, I don't know. But other than that, I mean, this is very good. They're very good. Now I have to admit, brownies are not my favorite dessert. I tend to go like cheesecake or key lime pie or something like that, strawberry pie, as opposed to cakes and brownies. But this is really good. Again, it's subtle. It's not overwhelming, but it's there. I do like the chewy of the non-coffee brownie. But the flavor is far superior with the coffee, like far superior. The ones without coffee are good. They're not bad. They're good brownies. Again, they're not my favorite, but they're good. I'd eat one. I might eat this whole container of them. Now, caffeine content wise, I can't imagine there's too much here. 2 tablespoons of brewed coffee and a tablespoon of instant coffee. A tablespoon of instant coffee is less than a half a cup of coffee. Plus 2 tablespoons of brewed coffee is nothing. Spread across the whole plate. So unless you eat the whole plate, you're not even getting a full cup of coffee in the whole plate of brownies. If you're sensitive to caffeine, I mean, maybe don't eat them right before bed. But I don't think you're going to have a problem with them. That's really good. Very impressed. I know how I'm making my brownies from now on, and it involves coffee. And anything that involves coffee is a good thing. We hope you enjoyed the video. Please make sure you like, share, and subscribe. If you have any other ideas of things that we can try, let us know in the comments below. We'd love to hear from you, and we will see you again very soon.